All I can think of is the broken heart emoji
Yeah.
that we all keep texting back and forth. We all know about that one.
Kiely definitely was special. She meant so much to so many people.
I started this channel to learn more about Kiely Rodni and what led to her fate. Along the way, I've learned more. We've all learned more. And people have had a chance to have some say. That's why the words you're about to hear weren't written by me. Yet most of the statements came from deep within. Like something that had to be said. Like some people getting the talking done. This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
She drove Kiely's car into the water.
I don't think any of us feel she is resting in peace, nor do we think justice has been served. At least she is singing with the angels in heaven and has an all-seeing eye watching over her closely now.
I love this about Kiely. She was always telling the truth.
We all accepted Kiely as our daughter, and we all miss Kiely as our daughter.
Were the lyrics to Kiely's song Far Away with Craig part of her breadcrumbs? What happened to her twice a year that was so devastating to her? Was she about to get away and they stopped her because of what she could expose?
What could cause an ocean of anger in a 16-year-old who was described as always smiling by her few friends? Was she always smiling because she was about to finally break away from home? She wasn't always smiling as a child. The pain in her eyes is haunting. These are the breadcrumbs no one wanted to talk about. The party, friends, and accident are so much easier for people to believe, and maybe that's the truth. Or maybe not. Kiely had to have been totally disconnected from herself. The hideous, inhuman, barbaric abuse she sustained in her life makes my whole being shattered for this baby girl. I agree wholeheartedly with you, she was being abused by a lot of people. There is a special place in hell for people like them.
Kiely needs justice. This was a covered-up case from the beginning.
I wonder about the stepdad. I wonder even more when the group of men book a stay at the Lost Trail Lodge. Trust isn't in my vocabulary. Mom and stepdad have that what-stock appearance. It could lead one's thoughts to an occult leader and prowess or witches and warlocks. Maybe Mom is wit and taught Kiely also. I find it strikingly odd that women dress up as witches on Halloween and stand on paddle boards in Donner Lake of all lakes. All this make me wonder if the group of men that booked the lodge are part of the elite, and Kiely was an offering of sorts. Maybe music wasn't the only way she was expected to entertain the guests. Maybe I read into too much. Why would she insist on bathing in the creek?
That's a red flag given low temp weather. What child likes water that's too hot or too cold? There are 5 bathrooms, but there wasn't one that she felt safe to bathe in. Either Mom was careless about sharing the creek story, or she clearly didn't listen to the signs Kiely was putting out.
I tried for months to get this video to creators and out in the public. It disturbed me to my core, and it seemed like no one was getting what I got when I happened upon this. So creepy at the end, and my heart aches for this beautiful little girl. Don't know if you've noticed, but I went to the lodge's page a couple days ago, and it is completely empty. No videos.
You don't have to be incredibly smart or a genius to see that this is a cover-up, plain and simple. The bigger question is why?
I've had this question all along in Kiely's case. Did the 17 tattooed on her ribs perhaps refer to Q? Records show how her name was researched even before she went missing. I began to have this question. Do you think just maybe she was tracked for her bloodline? Perhaps the blood of the Magdalene?
That family has some dark secrets.
Lindsay says community more times than she says Kiely.
Lindsay said that Kiely had an ocean of rage inside her. Lord, what did they do to this girl? I have cried for this girl. It's heartbreaking.
I didn't know about something happening to her twice a year. Please tell me who said that. It just adds to the sadness of this girl's life. I wish I could have met her and protected her from these evil people.
I read somewhere that her mother and possibly stepdad went to some sort of church/culture treat 2 times a year for several days, and she would be left alone. Or people would ski in and stay with her while they were gone. Podesta had a home 6 miles from the lodge.
I also wonder about possible abuse in her past, and if this is the case, I wonder how her abusers may have caused her to disappear or taken her life. In addition to her ocean of anger, Atsisitv posted a transcript of some words Lindsay spoke at Kiely's celebration at life, and the words that really alarmed me were Lindsay said this about her daughter. She knew heartache and pain, tasted the bitterness of regret, and drank from its well. Anger swelled from her as an ocean tide, and her tongue lashed paper cuts. What could have happened to make her feel things like heartache, pain, and regret when she was just a kid? What made her so angry? Who was she lashing those paper cuts on, and why?
I'm certain she isn't at peace. I hope she haunts everyone involved, meaning everyone who killed her. Who knows what happened and covered it up. If justice isn't served the legal way, I pray the big man in high office don't pay back in love or money. Yes, I believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and when justice comes all their ways, and it will come one way or another, then your peace will come, Kiely. The good was overpowered by the bad when this happened.
Always thought that her eyes held tons of secrets. They say eyes are the windows to the soul.
Kiely, I know you are still alive.
The music in this video sounds like what Jagger listens to. I wanted to think she at least had her grandpa on her side, but in retrospect, his interaction with Check It TV, for example, alliance with Steve Fisher, lack of curiosity into the circumstances of her death, I sadly don't think she had anyone. At this point, it actually seems like the person that cared the most for her in this whole world was Jagger.
And I am not frightened of dying. Any time will do. I don't mind.
I was talking about the end of the video with Grandpa playing piano and Kiely singing, with the table and a glass and napkin in it. That video was originally posted by who I can only assume was a guest at the lodge 10 years ago. It is creepy AF, and in my opinion, implies that somebody is doing things to someone else that they clearly don't want. And there are so many things that start to scream that after you go back. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with her murder, my opinion. But it sure paints a picture of the 16 years this girl was on this planet, and it isn't a pretty one. It's filled with pain, heartache, betrayal, and sadness, and that destroys me to a point. I can't let one more final travesty go unpunished, and know in my heart, this girl's murderer walks freely among us.
I wish your inverted video and many others would be noticed by more people.
My heart absolutely breaks for Daniel.
How does she even stand or hold it together, let alone talk and give such eloquent speeches? I just can't make her look normal or innocent in this, no matter how hard I try. And what is up with that sharp pronunciation of the last word of all her sentences? It makes her sound like she has so much resentment towards her daughter when she speaks about her. She has nicer things to say about her community than she does her own beautiful, talented, super intelligent daughter. A community of people who are the last to see her daughter alive, supposedly, and left her alone, drunk around hundreds of creepy older men.
I had an abusive alcoholic dad too. It was awful, I know. I know about the connection to art and music. Some days it's the only thing keeping me alive. No one thinks suicide is likely what happened. She was gifted, graduated early looking forward to college. Far from a suicide victim.
Sami was never a friend of Kylie's. Kiely was very happy to finally be rid of her mother, so no, there is no indication of suicide. In fact, it is the exact opposite.
I attend church with one of the parents of the teens involved. We just lost Amy Morris from suspicious circumstances. She was arrested for domestic violence, yet died in the Nevada County Jail. She was only 40 years old. I looked and she only had a few traffic tickets. Anyhow, this area is pretty dangerous regarding law enforcement. Kiely was, by all accounts, happier than ever when this transpired. No water in the lungs, if the autopsy is correct. But since the guy who conducted the autopsy was fired from his last job under suspicious circumstances, I did not trust the autopsy. This is one case I've never seen so much cover-up or heard of such in my entire life. It has us considering moving away. It doesn't feel safe here anymore.
Who was involved with her crying on the inside 2 times a year, and that is possibly just a glimpse of what Kiely really went through. And God, I really pray that Kiely is going to get her justice really soon, and they think that they are definitely in the clear. Kiely will have God in her heart forever and ever. Amen.
If Kiely Rodni emotionally suffered as a child and adolescent, it does not necessarily have to be from sexual abuse. It could also be from physical or verbal abuse. I do think she is telling the world her experiences. The image of her as a child, even if we don't see evidence of cutting per se. Yes, she had wrist surgery from an accident. The haunting images of her face tell a very sad story.
If you go back through pictures, you can see apparent marks above where she had wrist surgery. Several kids in this group appear to have them.
I hope for justice too. It would put my mind at ease. Refusing to call in her disappearance for so long until 5 p.m. I feel this is all orchestrated by the parents. So sad.
Whether Kiely Rodni intended to do harm to herself really has no relevance to how they claim she died and the massive psyop cover-up. Drowning with no water in lungs. No note.
Please keep trying to share Kiely's message, whatever that may be. I agree she was an unhappy young girl. I wonder if her oceans of anger per Lindsay Neiman is rooted in early abuse. But not sure what kind of abuse that could be. You wonder about Tony Neiman's role. I wonder about Lindsay Rodni Neiman's role, having survived horrific verbal abuse at the hands of my own mom. And take that a step further, while you wonder if Kiely Rodni took her own life, and even that could have been covered up. I have to let my mind explore if something tragic happened at home in early August.
As this clusterduck of a case has unfolded, so many secrets have started to have spotlights bring the darkest corners of this mystery to light. As we look back to the beginning of this, so many truths were called out and dismissed due to it not fitting the storyline, and now have strategically deleted. Thank you so much for sharing this with everyone, and God bless everyone, and God bless you for always helping out with getting justice for Kiely. Appreciate the quest for the truth.
You put into words the method I use to discern and decipher people and events. Tap into the emotion while using pattern recognition, combined with research/factual information. Then draw connections, read between the lines. I understand and I agree with every point and conclusion you make regarding Kiely and her story, her surroundings. The part about her brother is the one thing that caught me off guard. It's strange, I barely knew she had one.
She was so beautiful and would have went far in her life, if some people would not have made a decision to end her life. Hope that she gets her justice. Thank you so much for continuing quest for Kiely for justice and providing her a voice. I feel it too. I've felt it from early on. After seeing the obvious signs, more and more breadcrumbs followed. Once you see them, you cannot turn your cheek the other way. Unless you are the perpetrators who live a fictitious, dark and evil life. Thank you for continuing to seek justice and truth for Kiely. I love your idea for enforcement and investigative layer on top of local law enforcement. Automatically triggered for any death of a minor from non-natural causes. In the name of Kiely's law perhaps.
I swear, I gathered most of the info from this video about a week after her laptop was found. They said she loved XXXTentacion so much that she got 17. XXX claimed that the rapper Drake was trying to sacrifice him. He turned his life around and started doing good things. His last live video before his murder, he says if I ever die, or become a sacrifice, I would want to know that I have positively affected, at the least, 10 million people. See, XXXTentacion has a song written that literally says that he made a deal with the demon Baphomet. X was supposed to sacrifice his good friend, but his friend knew and stayed away from him. So instead of X killing/sacrificing someone, XXXTentacion chose to be the one who was sacrificed.
We never met Kiely, but we felt her in our hearts and minds. What we also felt was betrayal. Betrayal of everyone who was supposed to love Kiely. We don't want to let go of her like her family did. We realize the specialness of Kiely. Maybe her light was too bright for them, but not for us. We see it in every picture and video.
What cults or religious beliefs or whatever are associated with Trekkie? The whole place is a blip on a map. It's scary, but finding no information is way more scary.
Whoever was involved in this is going to burn in the end.
Confess, Lindsay.
Kiely, whose light shines brighter even now. We won't give up or ever forget you. Kiely certainly didn't want this treatment from Trekkie or deserve this betrayal from these so-called friends. This makes me so incredibly sad for all who were a part of Kiely's life. Many of us know what Kiely likely experienced during her short life on this earth. It's often something shared by the generation before hers. Every time I hear Lindsay Neiman's voice, I try to remain objective and observe only, no judgments. That is difficult. Has anyone else noticed there is a unique way that Lindsay Neiman pronounces words? I recall a comment from someone who suggested it is due to speech therapy when she was younger. The manner is which words come down, harder. I have to wonder if secrets and silence have not permeated that woman's life. There is something she is communicating in her words. If theirs is ultimately no justice for Kiely, not for lack of effort, maybe her story, her voice, can live on in something called Kiely's Love that stands as a guardian of justice. It would be the ultimate voice for the voiceless, so this never happens again. I love this idea. You've got me thinking.
Could this be a cult? Kiely was picked before she was even born. Question mark.
You're sensing there is a greater depth to Lindsay Neiman as well. I see her as a woman imprisoned by her past choices who loves Kiely as much as she is capable of loving herself. It is limited and complicated. Mothers and daughters are inextricably linked to one another. There is much I do not understand about the familial history, the lodge, the traditions. I hesitate to speculate on any of that until I know more. I feel a vibe at the lodge though, and beneath the rustic comfort, charm and music, there is a darkness echoing around it. What does stand out to me is the lodge's public commitment to empowering young women. I see the exact opposite happening. It's contradictory. What went on during the retreats?
As for mothers and the question, if they know, mothers always know. That's got to be a burden to bear like none other. One thing we do know is that Lindsay stated that Kiely knew heartache and pain, tasted the bitterness of regret, and drank from its well. Anger swelled from her as an ocean tide, and her tongue lashed paper cuts. And I will always wonder what could have happened to make Kiely feel things like heartache, pain, and regret when she was just a kid. What made her so angry? Who was she lashing those paper cuts on, and why?
Lindsay and Kiely both were talented artists with apparent heavy burdens and secrets in their eyes. Kylie's deep attachment to her fiddle at such a young age and her graduating early may have been the result of her finding ways to focus intensely on things other than the pain. Lindsay's speech patterns, writing, and singing are perhaps her creative outlet. At timestamp 28 seconds, it sounds like my community knows exactly who done this to Kiely. That's very disturbing that they probably have knowledge of Kylie's disappearance the whole time. Anything is possible in the case of Kiely. God, please take Kiely up to heaven so that she will never have to be worried about the tricky California community ever. Amen. Exactly. 100%. As though Kylie's life didn't have any value to those in Tricky. It seems that the higher powers are punishing those in the Tricky/Donner Pass area with snow for hiding the murderer of Kiely and the silence of those who know how and why it happened. I really hope all these scumbags go down for what they did to Kiely. Justice for Kiely Rodni.
Her murderers and instigators need to be brought to justice, and then may they float in the lake of fire for eternity.
There are a different form of beings in our realm now. Those indifferent to life and protection of the vulnerable. There is a special lake waiting for all who harmed her.
She had no fear because what could be worse than what was being done to her?
Kiely Rodni's mama hugging all over Sami sums it up. While watching this video, I couldn't help but think about Kiely and how she was all alone and the whole community of Trekkie was against her. Even with the fake tears and the non-existence of love for her own daughter. Your day of judgment is coming, Truckee.
Sun's gone to hell. The moon riding high, let me bid you farewell. Every man has to die, but it's written in the stars. In every line in your palm, we're fools to make war, all our brothers in arms.
Yes, it is the truth. And I just got chills. For me, verifying that, in my opinion, Kylie's spirit is and does guide you/us/her army/all who know that she will get the justice we are seeking. And just know that in my humble opinion, Kylie's spirit loves what you are doing and thanks you.
I just want this whole mess to finally be exposed, and this beautiful, smart, talented young girl to finally get justice, and those responsible be held accountable. It's enough already.
Seeker of truth. I watched that mother go from actual fear to actual anger. As a mom, that's what I sincerely felt. That anger, to me, was because someone who was being built up to be the bread and butter of the Robertston's legacy Kiely left. I would like to know the insurance they had wrapped up in her. double digit in the millions, was spent and received for this girl's case. I personally have not seen it. Never seen anything like this in over 50 YRS. There are connections that helped with this on the grandpa's side. Grandpa spoke too soon, asking if she was in the back. They needed her found for a reason, and money in this world is what makes most of us all act like the opposite of ourselves. This is a digital world. Sometimes people forget that even when they change their appearances, they screwed up by asking for people to care that now will not go away.
I hope something happens that one day breaks someone and they come forward and Kiely can finally get justice.
Well, gave me much chills. She's so much like our Gabby Petito. Very well said.
Knowing how epic the party was supposed to be, letting her go is one thing, but letting her have the responsibility of getting home in 45 minutes, doesn't even know until late the following morning. I straight up call bullshit.
What an existence precious Kiely lived. A financially well-off young woman, but forced to live in an inner prison. So sad. Sometimes people build homes in near isolation to get away from it all, and sometimes they build them to hide bad things. The surreal, confused actions of the ones who cannot escape the alleged severe trauma of the way Kiely was treated. Her spirit is very strong, and I do believe she visits to seek justice with us. Touching, hugging, smiling her sweet smile, while guiding us in the right direction to find the true justice that I do believe she will get. Confess, Lindsay. Thank you for never giving up.
The Asatri community, and I know now that Kiely was a great person who enjoys the outdoors life. Amen.
I'm blown away. I absolutely got the feel. I felt your heart in all the matter and chatter. There's truth in this, and we've got to find ID.
It's past time for talking. It's time for action and justice. Thank you so much for exposing this and being Kiely's voice. I just keep praying that Kiely gets justice, and I will never stop until that day comes.
Where the info started for me, it was the first few presses. Many interesting emails, tweets from those you know were not part of anything. It's where I learnt that law enforcement supposedly had closed off all roads to the party water area on the evening of the 12th. Little old couple who wanted to join the search sent away wondering what was going on in a tweet.
It's the outsiders you need to listen to.
Curious if there is any truth to the rumor I heard that Tony no longer lives with Lindsay at the lodge.
I do feel it's necessary to understand what all she went through and hopefully find at least some answers to make this tragedy somehow make at least a tiny bit of sense.
unconditional love.
Kiely Rodni, I know you're out there. I truly
Justice
hope
for
you are
Kiely
living a
Rodni.
better life from where you were. You will be forever loved and missed.
I really hope anyone involved or with the knowledge of anything surrounding the death of this amazing, beautiful girl's passing finds the strength and courage to do the right thing and bring some closure to this nightmare. One thing I absolutely know for sure is that even when things seem impossible, God can show up and show out. So I can hold on to and hope and faith that we will all have answers one day. Until then, I hope those that are guilty can't sleep at night and have trouble breathing through the lies and secrets until they come forward.
Kylie's joy, love for life, soul is irrepressible. I'll never believe she chose to end it.
Please share this, everyone who watches it. This needs to be seen. Heidi will hit hard. Kylie's case will make the change our world, our country needs to have. Unconditional love.
Kiely Rodni, I know you're out there. I truly hope you are living a better life from where you were. You will be forever loved and missed.
I really hope anyone involved or with the knowledge of anything surrounding the death of this amazing, beautiful girl's passing finds the strength and courage to do the right thing and bring some closure to this nightmare. One thing I absolutely know for sure is that even when things seem impossible, God can show up and show out. So I can hold on to and hope and faith that we will all have answers one day. Until then, I hope those that are guilty can't sleep at night and have trouble breathing through the lies and secrets until they come forward.
Truth is a hard thing to tell when you feel no one is listening.
These aren't my messages. They are messages for and about Kiely, in response to videos and music about Kiely from people who know and love her, or people like me who have adopted her as the daughter they never had. They aren't my messages to keep, now that I've discovered them hiding in a Gmail folder. They are ours to keep and to share. She wanted it that way. These kids want it that way. We all need hope and something to believe in. Thank you, Kiely.
I have been so moved by all of your videos for Kiely, but I haven't commented before. I have got to say that the way Sarmi seems to be enjoying herself, while Magdalene stands there heartbroken, says a lot. The look of absolute sadness as she looks at Sarmi, like she's seeing the truth of her friend for the first time, speaks volumes.
She was let down by so many.
Justice for Kiely Rodni.
Her mother, number one. That girl had secret nightmares.
The idiocy of satanic sacrifice have run out of the mighty temperance with Kiely. Point blank.
I never thought that a great song of my college years would be used to depict Turkey's silence over Kiely's death and possible sacrifice at the sanctuary.
Just thinking about this beautiful, talented young lady. A thought is worth a million when you wonder if... What if YouTubers and the internet sleuths never pushed for justice for Kiely? Would there have been any other involved investigation in finding Kiely? Would there still be the celebration of life for Kiely? If YouTubers and internet sleuths never pushed for justice for Kiely?
All she needed was unconditional love from her parents. Instead, they spent their time worshiping.
He wanted her. Her mom hated her for it. They wanted money more than a beautiful soul.
A million candles burning for the help that never came. Our heartbeats unite in a constellation of light and love. To think, even in Kiely's parsing, Kiely showed us the evil in that town. October 13th, 2019. First full moon of autumn following autumnal equinox. It is called the Hunter's Moon.
That photo on her black dress looking down looks to me like she was pregnant. I just can't stop thinking on an abortion gone wrong.
If the candles are not burning at Prosser with the flames of truth, then they'll be lit across the world for her. I know in the deepest part of my soul that Kiely left many breadcrumbs for others like her to seek out the truth.
I think Kiely's spirit will have it no other way than for her to get the justice that is coming. Her spirit has moved me and continues to move me like no other spirit. I think Kiely is with those of us she has touched forever.
Did you stop looking? I have to ask, is this gut theory or do you truly think you know something and have something? I mean no disrespect, it's just it's been so long. I guess if all actually said what they truly know, things would probably get somewheres and end it.
As a survivor of sexual abuse, it was done by family members and started when I was 9 and went on for a few years. I was unable to tell my immediate family until I was 35, and my past had a great deal to do with how I turned out.
Something is persisting on keeping me here. I have watched those kids and compared them to many in similar situation. That's not how people act in a situation like that. Those young adults don't carry the right mindset to let anything bother them. They're allowed to do what they want, when they want, and how they want, without being held accountable because of the social environment around those areas. Sad. They have never cried for loss.
I tried for months to get this video to creators and out in the public. It disturbed me to my core, and it seemed like no one was getting what I got when I happened upon this. So creepy at the end, and my heart aches for this beautiful little girl. Don't know if you've noticed, but I went to the lodge's page a couple days ago, and it is completely empty. No videos.
Yes, it is the truth. And I just got chills. For me, verifying that, in my opinion, Kiely's spirit is and does guide you/us/ your army/all who know that she will get the justice we are seeking. And just know that in my humble opinion, Kiely's spirit loves what you are doing and thanks you.
I just want this whole mess to finally be exposed, and this beautiful, smart, talented young girl to finally get justice, and those responsible be held accountable. It's enough already.
Seeker of truth. I watched that mother go from actual fear to actual anger. As a mom, that's what I sincerely felt. That anger, to me, was because someone who was being built up to be the bread and butter of the Robertston's legacy Kiely left. I would like to know the insurance they had wrapped up in her. double digit in the millions was spent and received for this girl's case. I personally have not seen it, never seen anything like this in over 50 YRS. There are connections that helped with this on the grandpa's side. Grandpa spoke too soon asking if she was in the back. They needed her found for a reason, and money in this world is what makes most of us all act like the opposite of ourselves. This is a digital world. Sometimes people forget that even when they change their appearances, they screwed up by asking for people to care that now will not go away.
I hope something happens that one day breaks someone and they come forward and Kylie can finally get justice.
Well, gave me much chills. She's so much like our Gabby Petito. Very well said.
Knowing how epic the party was supposed to be, letting her go is one thing, but letting her have the responsibility of getting home in 45 minutes, doesn't even know until late the following morning. I straight up call bullshit.
What an existence precious Kiely lived. A financially well-off young woman, but forced to live in an inner prison. So sad. Sometimes people build homes in mere isolation to get away from it all, and sometimes they build them to hide bad things.
At timestamp 28 seconds, it sounds like my community knows exactly who done this to Kylie. That's very disturbing that they probably have knowledge of Kylie's disappearance the whole time.
Her spirit is very strong.
Anything is possible in the case of Kylie. God, please take Kylie up to heaven so that she will never have to be worried about tricky California community ever.
Smiling her sweet smile.
Amen.
While guiding us in the right direction.
Exactly. 100%.
That I do believe.
As though Kylie's life didn't have any value to those in Tricky.
Thank you for never giving
It seems that the higher powers are punishing those in the Tricky/Donna Pass area with snow for hiding the murderer of Kylie and the silence of those who know how and why it happened.
I absolutely got the feel.
I really hope all these scumbags go down for what they did to Kylie.
There's truth in this, and we've got to find out.
Kylie's joy, love for life, soul is irrepressible. I'll never believe she chose to end it.
Please share this, everyone who watches it. This needs to be seen. Heidi will hit hard. Kylie's case will make the change our world, our country needs to have. Unconditional love.
Kiely Rodni, I know you're out there. I truly hope you are living a better life from where you were. You will be forever loved and missed.
I really hope anyone involved or with the knowledge of anything surrounding the death of this amazing, beautiful girl's possum finds the strength and courage to do the right thing and bring some closure to this nightmare. One thing I absolutely know for sure is that even when things seem impossible, God can show up and show out. So I do hold on to and hope and faith that we will all have answers one day. Until then, I hope those that are guilty can't sleep at night and have trouble breathing through the lies and secrets until they come forward.
Goodbye, Michelle, my little one. You gave me love and helped me find the sun. And every time that I was down, you would always come around and get my feet back on the ground. Goodbye, Michelle, it's hard to die when all the birds are singing in the sky. Now that the spring is in the air.
This is not a face of a man and women in grief nor dire turmoil.
I wish that we could both be there. We had joy, we had fun, we had
And I love the background.
If justice isn't served the legal way, I pray the big man in high office don't pay back in love or money. Yes, I believe in the Father, Son, and
I really
Holy
see how
Spirit,
you are
and
seeing
when
Kylie's
justice
face.
comes all their ways, and it will come one way or another, then your peace will come, Kylie.
Trinity Backus went to school with
The
Kylie
good was
Rodni.
overpowered by the
God bless
bad
you
when
and
this happened.
everyone.
Seems like I push against the
Instead of just focusing on the event that ended Kylie's life,
they just keep blocking out the sun. It seems since
I started
The
this
music in
channel
this
to learn
video
more about
sounds
Kiely
like what
Rodni
Jagger
and
listens
what
to.
led to her fate. Along
I
the
wanted
way,
to think
I've
she
learned
at least
more.
had her grandpa on her side,
We've all learned
but in
more.
retrospect, his interaction
And
with
people
Checker,
have had a chance to have some say.
for example, alliance
That's
with
why
Steve
the words
Fisher,
you're about to hear weren't written by
lack
me.
of curiosity into the
Yet
circumstances
most
of
of
her
the
death.
statements came from
I
deep
sadly
within,
don't think she had anyone.
like something that had to be said.
At this point, it actually seems like the person that cared
Like
the
some
most
people
for
getting
her in
the
this whole
talking
world
done.
was Jagger.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Night after night, seems like I rage against the moon, but it don't ever light the dark. No, I curse the falling rain, but it won't stop for my complaining. Down on my luck and up against the wind. Don't you stop, don't you run, don't you cry.
it's like we get glimpses into her entire existence, and your videos prompt all the emotions and things that go along with that.
Swimming against the tide and striking the indifferent air. I'm swinging within the air.
Truth is a hard thing to tell. When you feel no one is listening,
Day after day, I find myself
We all need hope and something to believe in. Thank you, Kylie.
but it don't ever
For Tricky.
Don't you stop, don't you run, don't you cry.
When you're one of the